This week, we discuss the merits of a digital whoopee cushion and make handwritten notes assuring our listeners that this podcast is not a bomb. And to all of our male listeners in Georgia, don't forget to report your orgasms. All that and more on this week's episode of...
Wait a minute, are we early? No, I think we're late. Robot lady, sound the alarm!
Warning. The following podcast is another wasted hour. Warning. The following podcast is another wasted hour.
Don't waste my motherfucking time! I seriously have no idea what time it is anymore. I don't know how it works. Clocks seem to be really easy to work with, but then suddenly they're all different, and I don't get it. Adam, do you?
I don't like it.
I don't
You know
like
how
it.
hard it is to reset the microwave and the oven to be the exact same time? I hate it.
Just thank God we got rid of VCRs, because those were impossible. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I assume it's going to be the next hour, but who knows? It may skip ahead in the middle of this show. But what I do know is it'll be replaced with two ignorant, uninformed, ill-advised, self-deprecating morons ranting about opinions they have no right to have, which are probably wrong and absolutely do not matter. Our goal here at Another Wasted Hour is to convince you that where we hail from, just outside Washington, D.C., is not just a city of politics and scandals, but one brimming with art, music, and culture, and daylight savings, as impossible as that may seem. So listeners, now that you know why you're here, like a man who loves it in one, we have Michael from the Elevators.
I was wondering where you're going with that. I was like,
Yeah.
loves it in one. I was
Yes.
like, well, that's quite a construction. Yes, I'm Michael Stetis.
Yeah.
I'm 34 years old. You didn't ask, but there it is.
Is this Tinder? Did we just turn on Tinder?
ASL right here. Here we
I
go.
like walking on beaches. And just
Yeah. Beaches are great. That's fine.
Pina coladas.
So I'm a writer, editor, and songwriter in the area, and in short, an artist. And I've been doing music for the past at least 15 years. Been playing in all sorts of bands, from 80s hair metal bands to really sad, mopey, thoughtful indie music to and then I also work a little bit on the side doing jingles and stuff and bumpers for podcasts,
Really?
for YouTube videos.
Oh, we should have hit you
things
up
like
sooner.
that. Sure. I just got a gig earlier this week to do. The Baltimore horror director Chris LaMartina is doing a sequel to like his most popular film, and he needs a fake Super Soaker commercial jingle within it called the Super Duper Water Shooter, and I have to write a jingle for that. Very 90s. And then I just got a gig today for a friend of mine is making a product called Token Terrors. All you need to know is there's these little figurines for like Magic the Gathering, and he's like, "Hey man, I want a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles action figure style song that's a little bit medieval sounding and a little bit like that Crossfire commercial." And I said, "You got it, man. You got it." So
That's you take very specific direction.
I do.
Now, the most fascinating thing I think is, so who else is part of the Elevators?
Well, the Elevators is really just me.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's weird.
It's a little weird, yeah. So the way that I'm trying to now, I mean, I've been in bands and I've written with people for a long time, but this is the first
and
time.
what you learned is they're terrible.
Yeah. Working with you don't get your way as much when you work with other people.
They have ideas and thoughts, and they talk.
And they need bathroom breaks and water. It's insane. I hate it.
Yeah,
and
musicians.
And so this is the second album I've put out as just an independent artist. And I kind of like doing one-off projects. I like making something, throwing that out, and into the air, into the ether, like a paper boat into the sea, and just casting it off and saying, "All right, well, you go try something, and now I'm going to make something completely different and forget about you."
I'm going to abandon you.
Yes.
Push
good
you
luck.
out of the nest, even though you can't fly yet.
So the first one I did a couple years ago was Risky Raftin' original soundtrack.
Okay.
And that is an entirely chiptune-based score to a game that does not exist that I imagine called Risky Raftin'.
Okay.
And this album is called Future Shit by the Elevators. Very heavily inspired by 90s chick rock.
Yeah, and we have a track from it today. You gave us a track called Gaslit.
I did.
And that's from the EP Future Shit. You released this on March 1st, and people can go get that just anywhere.
Oh, it's everywhere.
You can probably just stand in an airport and hear it.
Put 3 syllables together, and it is likely some Eastern European streaming site you've never heard of, and you'll find it there. That's where it is.
Add.com to the end, and you'll probably hear this song.
And it's also in something called Napster. I'm not sure what that is. But.
Just for those people who are my age, it's not the same Napster.
No, it is not.
It's very disappointing. It's like when you meet that chick that you were in love with in high school and now you're 40.
Right.
It's not the same.
Yeah, in your head, the looks were certain ways, and then you're like, oh, I wish I had met you again. I wish that hadn't happened.
It was so good. It was, and now I think you play rugby. I think that was sexist in some way, but I would like to point out.
I'm sure in some way.
For the people who are offended by that, there are women rugby players.
Yes.
So let's not be
deal with it.
So close-minded. So yeah, so we have the track Gaslit. If people want to hear this track, they can fast forward to the 1 hour mark of this show and listen to it completely. Later on, we'll play a little a piece of it so that people don't have can wet their whistle if they're not sure.
Whistle wetting, I got it.
They just want to dip their toe into your music and they're like, oh, I'm not sure if I can commit to an entire track.
Right, an entire 6-song EP. Yeah, right. I got
you. Some people don't know how to handle commitment.
I get it.
I'm very into commitment. So when I open a pint of ice cream, I throw away the top because I'm fucking in.
Right.
Like we're doing this.
And then it's a race against the clock.
Yeah, exactly. Because sometimes you just have to commit. Right. So now, if I'm not mistaken, you released this on March 1st.
I did. Which
means you probably did most of the recording and everything. And obviously the release during a different time zone.
Yes.
Yeah, we're now in daylight savings, is that right? Or are we not in daylight savings? I don't even know.
Is daylight getting saved
yes,
right
no,
now?
I think now we're in daylight.
Okay.
So we're saving daylight right now.
And when it gets dark really early, that's normal, I think?
That's normal.
I don't remember.
That's when we're like, hey, we don't have as much daylight, so fuck it, we're not going to save it, which seems weird.
But aren't we... When we don't have as much daylight, aren't we saving it till now? Is that the idea? Like we're storing it up, we're banking the daylight?
This should be daylight spending time.
Right, daylight spending time right now.
Right. All the daylight we saved up during the winter.
We've been squirreling it away.
Right, and now we're splurging and having summer.
Go ham with the daylight.
Right. This is good. We should rename this. Mm-hmm. It would make a lot more sense. I think people are going to like this.
Oh, yeah. People want to spend. Savings, that turns people off.
Here's my thought. And you guys follow me on this and you tell me how you like it.
Mm-hmm. I'm already worried.
The way it works right now, right, is in the spring, we skip an hour, right? And then in the fall, we have an extra hour, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I like this idea. I just don't like the timing. So here's my proposal. We all get that 1 hour, but we can skip it and put it wherever we want.
That's fine. On an individual basis.
Right.
Okay.
One time a year, you can be like, I'm out. And then that hour doesn't exist.
But we have a meeting at daylight savings.
Yeah.
He's exercising his daylight savings privileges.
Yeah, I can't make it to the meeting, daylight savings. Mm-hmm. And then some other time, you could be like, you need to bring the boat back for the rental at 6 o'clock. And daylight savings. You get an extra hour with the boat. Right?
Would it be a little card to get a little hole punched?
Yeah, I think so.
That's fine.
I think that's fair. What do you think, Adam? Are you in?
I just see so many problems with that.
I don't see any. I think it's a perfect system.
All I see...
Because I know my job, they would not buy that for a moment.
First...
I work with divas.
Yes. First... federally mandated, so they'd have to take it.
Gotta do it.
Yeah. Second, the only downside I see to this is complete chaos, and that sounds like fun.
Yeah, that's good times.
Yeah. I don't understand what the issue would be.
Multitudinous, but
right.
I don't think that was a real word, but fuck it.
I feel like if you do something during the skipped hour, because you go back, right? You fall back. Mm-hmm. Is that how it works? Yeah.
I think it's like glass half full, glass half empty. Depending on your perspective, you're losing or gaining, Yeah.
Here's how I'm going to propose it, right? Is let's make it easier. We keep the same days now because obviously chaos would be pretty difficult to deal with, right? But, okay, when we do the fall back where it's like it's 2 a.m., it becomes 3 a.m., and then it becomes 2 a.m. again, during that 1 hour before it falls back, you can do anything and it doesn't matter when it gets back. Yeah, purge rules. Yeah,
I gotcha.
As long as you can get arrested.
Oh, okay.
But if you can get away with it between 2 and 3,
gotcha.
And then it's 2 again.
So you commit a crime in the first 20 minutes. You're running from the cop for the next 40 minutes.
Right.
If you outrun him for 41 minutes, you're free.
You're done.
You're good to go.
Clean
okay.
slate. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
I like those rules. Yeah, we'll call it the Lost Hour. We'll put it in creepy font. People are gonna love it.
I think it's great. Adam?
Oh no!
Did you
every week you come up with these crazy ideas, and every week I'm just more disappointed in you.
Are you upset that you didn't realize you were going to be the adult on this show?
The Lost Hour is going to be a great horror flick. You're going to want to get on the ground floor on this, okay?
He is going to make the soundtrack.
Now we're trying to sell movie rights. You got me in.
Right. Well, if it doesn't pass federal legislation, we're going to go right to Hollywood and just pitch it as a film.
The Lost Hour seems like the next project.
That's good.
That's the next band name, right?
Yeah.
I think that sounds like the podcast that rips us off.
Yeah, right. They just play our podcast. All right, so it's what you could have done with this hour. That's what that podcast
Instead, you
is.
lost it.
Yeah. All right, so we're all in agreement. We should change daylight savings.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about it.
No.
Especially being like an insomniac. I'm up at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
So when it was 2 a.m. and suddenly it's 3 a.m., it was like 1:59 and then it was 3 a.m. I was like, what the fuck? What was that? What was that? And now it was awful.
And then you end up with like just hangover from it. It's like jet lag, but you didn't go anywhere. It's
a lot
terrible.
of people called out on Monday.
Yeah.
Like they were just not in. They checked out.
No, we should all do it.
I sometimes wish I had a job where I got to do that.
You can. You just have to take your leap day
right
early. I didn't tell you about this.
Yeah, it's included though.
Yeah.
You get a leap day chip.
Every
you got to cash in the
years.
chip. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I assumed you knew that this was going to extend.
Oh no.
It's like a metaphor. All right. So everyone, if you have ideas for daylight savings and you'd like to jump in on this, email us at contact@anotherwastedhour.com like you do every week, which is none of you. So I don't know who I'm talking to. We have 10,000 downloads. We've gotten like 2 emails. Ooh. Yeah, I guess we should say that. I guess we haven't said that on the show.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, we got 10,000 downloads now.
Nice.
And like 2 emails.
Well,
so they're all robots.
Right.
There's no way
it's
they're
passive interaction, but it's interaction.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Right. They are
all of them are our super fan.
It's a bunch
all of them
people.
are super fan. She just keeps downloading them over and over again.
They don't know how to type. That's what we've learned. All right. So moving on, now that we've learned a little bit about Michael and the Elevators. By the way, go check out his music, The Elevators, just everywhere it streams, or go to statusbandcamp.com.
That's correct. And Elevators has 2 L's.
2 L's. That's important to say. Yes.
Yes.
Elevators.
Like L. McPherson, that kind of thing.
Elevators.
Elevators.
Status. STETTES.
That's me. Yeah,
right.
Definitely.
So go to that.bandcamp.com. Bunch of music. And I assume whatever the next magic band that's has
going to be
album,
there. Yep.
It'll be there.
It'll be there.
All right. Cool. Excellent. Well, welcome to the show. We now that you have jumped from one band to another, mythical bands to another, we want to give you another role that maybe you're not so familiar with that you can jump in and out of at will. We're going to make you the editor-in-chief of your brand new publication. All right?
All right. Yeah. I'm game.
So we're going to be your loyal reporters. We've gone out onto the internet. We've found 8 different stories that we're going to pitch to you. You're going to let us know whether or not they make it into your publication.
And I'm Jonah Jameson.
Right.
You guys are coming to me, pitching your shit.
Yeah.
I got it.
And we might get fired at the end.
All right.
We'll see. It definitely happens. All right. So without further ado, our dear friend up in Baltimore, Adam.
Dutch blunder building bans dancing.
That sounds like a thing you say before you're going to give a speech.
Is that a guy's name? It's like Dutch Blunder Building?
So Blunder Building is its nickname. Would you like to know how it got the name Blunder Building?
Yes.
I will tell you. They've been warned off dancing for fear that, quote, the floors of the renovated building might not take the strain. Other warnings include to avoid overstacking photocopier paper, placing a second row of chairs around conference tables, or putting heavy cupboards and safes in your office.
Or that rugby player girlfriend that you had back in high school.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's this renovated building that has a bunch of government offices in it, and they did such a shitty job that it's earned that nickname because the floors apparently won't take any weight. They accidentally, I don't know if they accidentally, but some genius decided to paint all of the walls black. So everyone was just depressed all the time.
Well, no wonder they're depressed. They don't know if they're going to be jumping that day.
Right, they got to tiptoe all day
Right.
in socks.
Right. They have to walk around like they're cat burglars.
Pretty much. And what's causing some complaints now is that this is the same company that's supposed to renovate the Parliament building. And they keep saying, "Oh no, this is a totally different project." Like, but it's the same people.
Yes. They should do that to Parliament.
I'm trying to find. I lost my note here about another building this company renovated that is equally as shitty.
They should do it to Parliament, but they should do it to the roof, so that like while Parliament's in there, like they're like shh,
Right.
and they're looking up.
Have you
like,
ever listened to Parliament? It is insane. They're just constantly screaming. I have to imagine that when the United States gets as old as England is now, it's going to be the same way. Congress is just going to be a lot of It's going to be that the whole time.
There's just an entire group of people just going la 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 la.
What was the old Robin Williams joke? Parliament's like Congress with a 3-drink minimum.
Yeah, I think we're getting there, right?
Yeah.
Now with our bipartisanship, there's definitely a lot of just like, you're an asshole and you're an idiot. And like,
I mean, they sound like a 90s sitcom audience. You know, there's just a lot of ooh. When somebody gets in a zinger,
Yeah.
you just hear it, like everybody's laughing and chortling.
yeah, we should do that. We should pass legislation by how well the comedy
Right.
is on.
There's a guy with a hand and
Yeah.
it moves like a
Yeah,
needle.
I like this. We're moving that direction. So is it news?
I think we should definitely put it in so that
Okay.
way when this building collapses, we can be like, told you so.
So you really
We warned
want, you just want to make sure that you have one up on someone.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, so that one's in. That's good. Excellent. Toyota patents digital whoopee cushion that farts tear gas at thieves. Yeah.
I'm gonna need you to say that again.
Toyota patents
Okay.
digital whoopee cushion that
Already confused.
digital whoopee cushion that farts tear gas at thieves. So the idea is if a thief goes to steal your car,
Yep.
they go and sit down and they're like, aha, I got this car. And it goes, I can't see anything. I'm dying.
Is this a fucking RoboCop commercial?
No, it's not. But I can tell you I will be buying a Toyota.
I have a Toyota and I wish it had that in it.
Right?
Yeah.
I assume this was after they ruled out a flower that squirts acid in their eyes and a giant mallet that extends out of the trunk and crushes them into the pavement.
God, I mean, I've heard of cars having flamethrowers on the side in like certain countries where carjacking is super prevalent.
Yeah.
You can have little flamethrowers like shooting out
Which
to
is
the sides,
awesome.
which is cool.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah.
should have that
and
everywhere.
rush hour traffic doesn't somehow become a newest death race film?
Yeah, as it should.
Doesn't tear gas doesn't have the potential to make you vomit?
I'm
yeah.
sure
So
if you eat it.
this car thief just got in your car. He's in a closed system. You're in a little hatchback Yaris.
Yeah.
This tear gas fills up the entire inside.
Right. You can't
Okay?
see the handle.
The child safety lock's engaged. You can't get out of this car. That dude's vomiting. That dude's vomiting all over your interior.
Right. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now you have DNA evidence.
In my humble opinion, I would change mine slightly so that it only goes off like 4 minutes later.
Yeah,
It's like-
I have to imagine also, I mean, have you ever been in a car and then accidentally set off your own alarm trying to get out of the car because you didn't I mean, I feel like there's too much of a danger of just accidentally triggering that yourself. And tear gas.
Yeah.
Tear gas.
No, yeah,
It's not
that's-
just a bad smell. This is like some damaging shit coming at your lungs and eyes.
No.
All mucous membranes.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
No, I would get my girlfriend to sit in the driver's seat and then be like, God damn it, you complain about my farts? My eyes are watering.
I'm pretty sure that's
a
a smell you never get out of the seats either.
right.
No.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, I would change mine so that it waits until it gets to highway speed
Right.
and then goes off.
Yeah. I'm sure they won't get into an accident either.
Because that's my take, right? At that point, the car is a
Forfeit.
wash anyway, right?
Yeah.
Because you have tear gas all over it and vomit and everything. So might as well just get him going 65 and then just be like, I hope you've learned your lesson. He's just vomiting, bleeding out of his eyes and hitting guardrails.
I want to know if it makes the actual, if there's like a sound clip of farting that plays when it happens. Does it just release the tear gas or does it make the sound? It better make the sound.
If it's that, I hope it's the squeaky one.
Right.
They're
Right. The balloon one where you're,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
I
like,
bet
what
you.
is that? Oh, God. Oh.
You can probably upgrade to the sound. You know, it doesn't come standard, but if you get the SE, that's going to have that fart sound for you.
Oh yeah, no.
You get to choose from 17 different fart sounds. It's great.
One is Shatner, which has a surprisingly good name. There's a lot of pauses. It's like.
I love how you're trying to pull off a Shatner impression of farts.
You see what I have to try to edit and mix every week?
Do you think the man farts as he speaks?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely,
all right.
very dramatic.
You realize now I'm going to pay attention to my own farts to see if they resemble how I speak. All right.
I have a feeling he also has facial expressions that go with it.
Undoubtedly.
And he does the thing with his hands. While
he's like delivers them very dramatically. Yes. I wish you guys could see this. I do.
Just come onto our show at some point in time and you can be a part of all the genius that's happening right now. Hey, what did you do with your time on Wednesday? Oh, I'm glad you asked. We did William Shatner farts.
Why? Oh, well, we were imagining what a digital whoopee cushion to, deter car thieves would do.
Yeah. No, you do Mr. T. They record just actual farts of people. Right.
Celebrity farts. You get your own. You get celebrity farts.
No, I'm in. So is it news?
Yeah. No, that's definitely news.
Yeah, it is.
That's definitely news. We should let the car thieves know this could happen.
All right, Adam.
Did the stinger play? No, there it is.
Ah.
Mysterious floating package sparks bomb scare. Turns out to be NASA experiment.
I gotta hear it. I gotta know what this is. I gotta know. Yeah.
No, that's good.
So, so imagine this.
You didn't read it. That's what we found out.
No, I tried to scroll and the screen went white for some reason. So imagine this. You're at work. In this particular case, you're maintaining some solar panels. And all of a sudden out of the sky comes a giant red parachute with a styrofoam box on the side of it.
Okay.
I'm sorry, hanging from underneath it.
Yeah.
And on the side of that styrofoam box is a handwritten note that says, NASA atmospheric research instrument, not a bomb. If found, please call a number.
Yeah.
If this lands near the president, we at NASA wish him a great round of golf.
And then somebody called the bomb squad.
Of course. Pretty much, because my question to you was going to be, would you trust that handwritten note on the side of this box that was apparently also shaking and making strange noises? Would you actually trust that handwritten note, or do you call the police immediately?
That's just what they want us to think. It's not a bomb, sneaky terrorist.
The first time you meet somebody, if the first thing they say is, I'm not a murderer, you're gonna think they're a murderer.
Right.
You know? If you have to say it.
Nobody said you were a murderer. I know, but I'm not.
Right. I'm just letting you know so you feel safe. I'm not a murderer.
I have absolutely not murdered 3 children. That's very specific.
If you are ever in a situation where you have to handwrite not a bomb on the side of something you're making, you should rethink your design choices.
Right. I mean, why not print it on official NASA letterhead? Like, why are you handwriting this NASA?
So you're saying I should get off Tinder?
Would any of us actually recognize NASA letterhead?
Yeah.
Do any of our listeners how many of our listeners actually know what letterhead is?
Yeah.
How many of our listeners know what NASA stands for? How many of our listeners know how to spell NASA? All right. FBI is even harder for them. So we need to know, is it news?
Well, hang on one second. What is this what is this first story again?
That was the story.
My first story?
Yeah, your first story.
Yeah.
Mine was about the Blunder building.
Right. I've noticed in all of these stories, these are about horrible things that could potentially happen to people.
Yes.
And that's the kind of stuff I want. So yes, this definitely goes in there.
You've gone into his theme. And we also have seats that try to kill you.
Yeah, exactly.
No, we're doing good. This is an excellent publication.
People could die from walking too heavily.
Yeah, no, I think we're on a roll here. Georgia lawmaker files bill to force older men to report to law enforcement agencies when they release sperm.
Release how?
I have so many questions.
Go free, little one.
Yes.
Define older. I need to know a lot of this.
I have to tell you guys, I have so many questions, not one of which I want answered. Yeah. Now the new bill, it is House Bill 604 reads simply, any male 55 years of age or older shall immediately report to the county sheriff or local law enforcement agency when such male releases sperm from his testicles.
So not even at like an official medical location.
No, right. Not just like at a public park.
So some
which
old
would make
dude,
sense.
some old dude wants to commit the sin of onan. That's right, pulling that out. He's gotta report it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I tried to look through it some. I didn't see if there was like a phone number that you called.
Yeah,
because
a hotline.
I assume it would be like, I'm calling to report a discharge. Sir, when did the discharge happen? What? When did the discharge happen? Can you keep talking? God damn it, Jacob. Not again. Are you doing it right now? Aren't you? Oh.
So it doesn't say it would make it illegal, just that it had to be reported.
Well, so what it is it's one of those brilliant pieces of legislation that people who are upset about another piece of legislation make. So there is a new bill in Georgia that is called the Heartbeat Bill, where it is illegal to have an abortion after a heartbeat has been detected in the fetus.
Gotcha.
Determining that is the like point of life. Now, I will give it to Georgia because they pushed all the chips into the middle, right? Because at that moment that the heartbeat is detected, they are actually determining that is a citizen of Georgia, and they are now allowed to get like tax benefits off of them and everything.
Sure.
So I'm like, nicely done. Like,
right. Social Security, they're already earning their Social Security.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so I assume they can drink a little earlier.
Yep.
Because they'd be 21, right? A little earlier.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. I'd like to see that suit.
But see, what happens though if the other side calls his bluff? Do they realize what a can of worms they're opening?
It's not really worms. Come on, we called about this. What happened is Democrats said, all right, if you want to be able to be so controlling of the inside of women, let's see how the men like it. And there's a testicular Bill of Rights that includes this particular piece of legislation, among others.
I like how you know that it's a knife twist because they specified the age of the men.
Right.
It's not just like all men.
Right.
It's like, no, if you're old and you're doing it, you got to report it.
I'm guessing they just looked across the aisle and they were like, 55. I think 55.
I think they're about 55.
Yeah.
I'm writing it. Don't worry.
All right. So is it news?
It's news.
Excellent.
It's news. It's gross. I love it.
We have two themes: danger and gross.
Danger and gross. That's great.
So we're going to move on into a lightning round since we're kind of running low on time. So we're just going to throw a headline at you.
Got it.
If you have questions, feel free to ask.
Yeah, but I'll make them very quick.
We may not know the answers.
Police. Man arrested for choking driver who wouldn't stop singing Christmas carols.
See, now I want to know. See,
Go ahead.
Well, choking means that you can't breathe, but strangling. See, was he strangling the driver, or was the driver? See what I'm saying? You can't really choke somebody. That's all I'm saying. It's a grammatical point. That's all I'm trying to say.
You can't choke a person.
Well,
right.
He restricted the air and blood from around the neck to the point he was about to pass out. The trooper noticed the victim's neck was red and his eyes were bloodshot. So I'd say he was pretty fucking choked.
Yeah. Well, strangled. See, that's what I'm trying to say. He was strangled. But I assume that this was probably Santa Baby or the Paul McCartney song that everybody hates that I like.
So you're saying that someone can be choking, but you cannot choke someone else.
That's correct. The act of restricting another person's airway, strangling.
For the record, is it weird that he knows the difference between strangling?
It was in a video game, so
and choking, and earlier said, "I'm not a murderer."
Just roll with it. Yeah, that's news. A guy's getting hurt. Totally news. And depending on the Christmas song, I think valid. I think justified.
Here, I thought you were locked in the room with us, but really, we're locked in the room with you.
What's this we shit? I'm a few cities away.
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch your demise, Keith.
I'm gonna need you to call for help. You're gonna be like, "Hi, I need some help. When did the discharge happen?" Like, oh, sorry.
Right. Forgot it.
Wrong number. I have this on speed dial. Have to be able to dial it with one hand. All right. So it is news. Excellent. We're never going to get away from that bit. I just know it. It's going to be all night long, people. Join us for the ride. It's going to be a long one. Goat sworn in as mayor of Fairhaven, Vermont.
Yep, that's news.
Fairhaven,
Yeah,
Vermont.
I like goats. It's news.
Yeah.
I did hear about that one. I'm for it.
Yeah, I'm for it too. I like it. All right. When it's a no-brainer. It's
Right.
not really disgusting or dangerous.
No. I mean, I guess the goat could eat some
Anything.
clothes, anything.
They
I
eat
guess.
anything.
Could headbutt somebody, but that's fine.
All right.
Angry dad brings loaded AK-47 to Florida school because son called crying, police say.
I mean, the second you said Florida, I could have predicted Florida 3 words into that headline. Wow. No, that guy's making me mad. He does not go in my favor.
We don't want to promote that.
No. Ah, man.
So
But
stories about people that could have been hurt, except for that one.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, my dad would have done that. That's something my dad would do, actually.
What was it loaded with? Because if it was candy, I'm in. I feel like that's good.
Right. It's like an AK-47 piñata of sorts.
Candy for everyone. Ow, they're M&Ms. Ow, you bitch. All right.
Old Starbursts. Fuck, it's Old Starbursts. Ah.
Real quick, why was he crying? Why was the kid crying?
I just said
he was shot by an AK-47.
It says like he said that someone was quote slamming him.
Oh,
whatever that means.
Right, yeah.
That I would think that would be making fun of, right?
Yeah. You just got slammed.
Remember jonesing? Did you have that when you were a kid? Someone was jonesing on you?
No, I mean
No.
jonesing means like you're like envious or something, or
no.
wanting. You're craving if you're
Oh, that's
jonesing
true.
for
Yeah, I
something
saw
you're
that
craving.
too.
You know.
I heard. I used to. Say, I think it was jonesing. Was like somebody was making fun of you.
Oh,
but
I hadn't heard that.
We had a few things like that, right? Anyhow, so not in. That's what you're saying.
Not in. No.
All right. Last but not least, YouTuber arrested after crossing the country to threaten Google for deleting his channel. Turns out it was his wife.
Oh man.
I'll give you 2 reasons that you know this guy has a problem.
Right. No, that goes in. That's justified comeuppance. I like it.
Like, I wonder if he was like, if he had to first go to Google and be like, where is Google?
Where are you, Google?
Where do I go to find you? I have words. Where to drive to threaten Google.
Like I think it's funny that he didn't find out till like he got to Google. And like he was like, honey, I'm gonna go. I gotta go after Google. They deleted my channel, and she's like, yeah, right, Google did it. And then she just lets him go.
Right.
And then he gets to Google, and Google's like, it was somebody in your house, man. And like that marriage just doesn't seem healthy. That's all I'm saying. That marriage seems real rocky.
I have like $10 on the fact that he called them Mr. Google. I think he thinks it's a person.
Right.
I'm gonna go talk to Mr. Google face to face and get my channel back. And the wife was like, yeah, you go do that to Mr. Google.
You watched that, what is it, College Humor video about if Google was a guy and thought it was real?
Right. All right, so is it news?
Yeah, no, that's in.
Excellent. That brings us to the end of the weather report. I think I won this week.
Because I only turned down one, and it was Florida guy.
Yeah.
And I turned down Florida man.
You didn't even know it was a competition because
No, I didn't.
we don't
I was
tell
unawares.
anyone. If you listen to the show, you know we're very competitive. But what we do need now is, what is the name of your new gross, dangerous, and slightly uplifting publication?
The Rancid Picayune.
What is a Picayune?
Well, I don't know exactly what a Picayune is, but I do know from reading lots of books and watching lots of TV that small town newspapers, there's like Picayune is a very common title for them.
Newspaper thing?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
like
know
the
that.
Herald, the Sun, the Cincinnati Picayune. You know what I mean?
Picayune?
Picayune.
Is it true?
Sounds like a bad fruit.
Picayune. Picayune.
Is it true that you cannot Picayune another human being?
Oh my God.
Is that true? It's not a verb, right?
No, it's not.
Okay.
No, because apparently if you pick on you, someone, their dad might show up with an AK-47.
Right.
I Picayuned earlier today. Sir, stop calling the hotline. That's not even a thing.
You don't have to call during. After is fine.
Yeah, right? Did you send it to us? Jesus Christ. No, the rule is very simple. There's a law. You can read it. Just call. That's
all you gotta do.
Is this an envelope? That's not even... You shouldn't be using that. That's not even safe. It just bleed through. Which
The ink is smeared everywhere.
we need to speak to the fact that there's blood also because it's bleeding through.
Get this checked.
Jesus Christ, man. How many times did you do it today? Are you crying? You're crying. That is not healthy. Welcome to Georgia. Okay.
Trying their best to surpass Florida.
I know. My life is not boring.
Florida's seeping in. That's what it's coming over the border, you know?
It's growing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we've done that. We go check your newsstands.
For the rancid picayune.
The rancid picayune.
I hope, I'm probably not even pronouncing that word right.
No,
but,
probably not. It's probably newspaper. All right. So let's find out a little bit more about you.
Sure.
We have a track from your new EP called the EP is called Future Shit.
Future shit.
Right, which is a very quaint way of saying things that you haven't written yet. How does that work?
Yeah, I
How is
mean,
it from the future.
I was just walking along and I was like, thinking about, oh man, oh yeah, in 5 years, what am I going to be doing in 5 years? Oh yeah. And then I talk to myself all the time because I'm an only child and I have no friends growing up. So, I had me, guys. I had me. And so anyway, I just said to myself like, I don't want to think about future shit. And I was like, oh, I like that phrase, future shit. It's hitting my ears in the right way. So,
nice.
Yeah, that's how that came to be. And then I realized later that like somebody might interpret it to mean like food because food is future shit. Like it's going to be shit at some point.
That is true.
Yeah.
But
it's not a food reference.
Not a.
To clarify, I know it's been debated hotly what future shit means out there. And I just want to say once and for all, not about food.
And so the EP was released on March 1st.
Mm-hmm.
It's out on all your streaming different things.
Yeah, get it on Deezer, Deezer.com. Get it. That's a real one. It's a German one. Yeah.
Is it?
Yep.
Nice.
But yeah, iTunes, Spotify, all that stuff.
And then you can also go to bandcamp.com with your last name, which is Stettis.
Yes.
Which is spelled Stettes.
It is. And you can also search future shit. And it'll pop up.
Elevators, maybe with 2 L's.
Elevators with
the
2 L's.
elevators. I should say the elevators. Not just elevators. And so, yeah, they can check that out. The track we have is called Gaslit.
Correct.
What inspired this track?
Well, okay, so I told you I was in a lot of bands.
Yeah.
Been in a lot of bands. And then one of the most recent bands I was in was a cover band called Abby Normal that I started with my friend Stephanie.
Nice.
And we noticed that a lot of cover bands in the DC area was all dudes, doing mostly all dude songs.
Sure.
Save for the ironic Britney Spears cover or something.
Right.
And we just realized there was a lot of money on the table. There were a lot of songs not getting covered. So we decided that we were going to do a cover band and do nothing but female artists, music from female artists.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, great.
So that got me reintroduced to a lot of music I already loved, like Veruca Salt. And it introduced me to some new bands like Elastica.
Elastica is great.
Right.
Yeah.
So then
a connection is made. Is that?
Connection. Yep. So one day Steph said we should write an original song that the band could do. And I said, you want to help me write it? She's like, no, I'm not a songwriter. I said, well, do you want to give me the title? And she said Gaslit. And as soon as she said that, I started writing it immediately.
Yeah.
And I just got inspired to do an album of it. I was like, I'm going to do a whole thing of this. So,
oh, wow. Okay.
Yep.
So this is
the first track that was written.
This one inspired the rest of the EP.
It did.
That's really cool.
And Stephanie ended up being the singer on the album.
Oh, okay. So the Elevators isn't just you.
No.
There are guests on it
Correct.
as well.
No. Almost like, I'm not comparing myself, so please don't think I'm comparing myself. But when you buy a David Bowie album, David Bowie's not playing everything, right?
What?
So
what the hell?
Come on.
Jesus Christ. Next you're going to say he's dead.
Well, I have some news. So akin to that. No, I am not the player of everything. I do play the bass. I do play the rhythm guitars and a lot of the interstitial leads, and I do sing back up and play some other things. But no, most of the major leads are other far more talented people. I do not play the drums. So I brought in a drummer.
Okay. Excellent. Well, let's take a listen. This is a track that inspired the rest of the EP. So I assume we listen to a sample of this, we get a taste of what the whole EP is going to be like.
You do.
So let's take a little listen. If you want to listen to the entire track, fast forward to the 1 hour mark of this show. But we're going to take a little listen here from the EP Future Shit. This is the song Gaslit by The Elevators.
no more. Gaslit! And you're carrying that torch. A one-man super horde and got on board.
I can definitely hear the inspiration.
Oh yeah.
Of all of these kind of 90s, early 2000 kind of girl band things happening.
Sure.
Yeah, that's definitely
just
in
leaning in on that.
Yeah, that's great. No, it's kind of like an old album but done today.
Right. Yeah. I mean, not every song sounds exactly like a Veruca Salt knockoff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's definitely modern elements to a lot of the guitar tones and things like that. And some of the other songs deviate, but that's where it got started.
That's pretty cool. What made you think to start this idea of doing individual things? Like when do you know it's time to kind of move on to a new one?
Well, because I've been in so many bands, the band I was in the longest was, and I was on this show to promote that band,
right?
Was Sam Cooper and the Sleepwalkers.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved being in that band. I loved everybody in that band. But, I was a creative writing major, and I found that I always liked writing really short stories or poems. I didn't like writing really long things. And just the kind of my mentality of creating things is just to make a thing that never existed exist, and then let it go.
That's
let it
fascinating.
drift in the breeze. And so
you don't do shows or anything either.
No, I don't plan on doing shows for this music. No. I mean, I could, but I kind of lost my taste for playing live.
Yeah.
Not to shit on anybody who loves playing live,
sure.
But I just have personally lost it. I like spending time in the studio more lately. And so I mean, I started doing one-off stuff. I had the idea to put together a Bowie tribute band.
Yeah.
I put together a Bowie tribute band, and we played like 3 shows.
And then you were done.
And yeah, we're gonna play one more at the 5-year death anniversary. But then there'll be no more. And it's just like, one night only. It's the one night only idea. It's like you get this one album. If you like this one album by the Elevators, cool. Well, that's all you get. That's all it is.
Very cool. Well, just like how you feel like there's one night only, we have one opportunity coming up for you in our new game show. Well, it's not even a new game show. We've had this game show for a while, but it is Please God, Just Get One Right.
Okay.
So if you're good with one,
hit me.
This is your jam.
All right.
So what we did is we've got a category from our prior guest. That's Tyler Plazio. He has a new EP that comes out March 15th called Nervous Feelings. And then he's playing March 22nd up at Epicure Cafe. I think this show comes out after that. I'm not sure, but probably. But
it depends on if I'm on time getting it edited.
So you may or may not be able to go check him out. You, however,
yes,
if you don't like this category, could go to his show. I was going to say,
how mad am I going to be at this guy? Right.
You could show up at Epicure Cafe Friday, March 22nd.
Okay.
And he's not a big kid, so you could totally take him.
Okay.
Tyler would agree with you.
Yeah.
He's one of those pop punk types. They snap like twigs.
Okay.
They're very brittle. All right. So we have 6 questions. You have to just get one right. That's the win. So,
multiple choice?
No.
Okay.
No, it's very difficult.
It's okay. I got to know this topic.
It all depends on what your interests are. You have a decent chance here, I think. You ready?
I'm ready.
Astronomy.
Oh, man. I wanted to be an astronaut growing up. I know quite a bit about the NASA story. Intrigued me. I think I might be okay here.
You might have a shot at them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here you go. It's completely random. So some people, they get their category and they're like, are you fucking kidding me?
I mean, if this starts asking me about vectors and shit, I'm not going to know any of that. No.
If the question's just, how do we get to Mars? Just explain that.
Are we alone in the universe? I'm going to get that right?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
All right, first question. Why? All right, Adam, start us off.
All right, we'll start off with the basics here. Astronomy is a natural science that studies celestial objects and phenomena such as planets, moons, stars, nebula, galaxies, comets, etc., using mathematics, physics, and chemistry. The study of the universe as a whole, however, is not part of the study of astronomy, but is instead its own related, separate science. What is the name of this offshoot branch of study?
Man, you know what? I'm not even going to think about it. My brain is not getting anywhere, so I'm done. I'm done. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't.
Not even a funny bullshit guess.
Existology. There, that's what I got for you.
Physical cosmology.
Cosmology.
Yeah, you could have had that.
I could have.
It was so close.
I've watched enough Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's used that word, I'm sure.
Right.
All right.
And planets.
Right.
Speaking of planets, this is my favorite question ever. I'm so glad I'm actually getting to use this on the show. Here's a question. What does Uranus smell like?
Gunpowder?
Good guess.
I know that. I think that's Mars. Or the moon. The moon's gunpowder. I don't remember what Uranus smells like.
It rotten eggs.
Of course
Yes.
it does. Sulfur.
Apropos, yeah.
Yes.
The planet's upper clouds are made of hydrogen sulfide, the chemical compound that gives rotten eggs their terrible odor.
Oh man, I'm so glad that the universe worked out that way.
Yeah, isn't it perfect? You're like, nailed it. It was either that or methane.
Right.
All right, Adam.
Jean Buridan, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right,
Nailed
was
it.
an influential 14th century French philosopher whose study of what he called impetus theory led to the modern concepts of inertia and momentum, which prove that an object can move without a continuous outside force. In the field of astronomy, what popular conception did this theory disprove?
Oh
What
man.
came before that?
Right. So it disproved. Originally, everybody thought that things had to be acted upon. Oh man,
Yep.
I'm not going to know the word for that.
What acted upon them?
Is it? It's not. Can I ask? Is it any sort of religious thing?
I'm taking the fifth on that one.
Okay.
So to give you a hint, it doesn't count.
You're right. Okay. The guided hand theory. Then I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry. I feel so small right now.
Like, I almost want to give it to him, Keith.
Yeah,
Just
it
real
is very
close.
Wait. Is it the Great Clockmaker? Is that what we're talking about?
No.
Because that's like a
No.
deist sort of thing, right? Okay.
No, it's
No,
not
no,
that.
so-
Sorry.
His theory proved that planets could move without the intervention of angels.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
close. Don't give it to me though. I'm
Okay.
a little too far off.
That was
I want to get one of
So
these.
it was real close, though.
It was.
It is. I love
Angels. That's great.
I love early science.
Yeah.
Because early science was like, I don't know, like angels?
It was probably angels. I like that they think that God's like got all these angels singing and all these angels doing other stuff. And then he's just got like 9 guys who just push.
Right.
That's their job.
Right. The planet pushers.
Right.
It's the same thing. So I've got some people, like I've got one guy on my Facebook who believes in flat earth theory.
Cool.
And it's amazing to watch because he's just gone back like 800 years.
Yeah.
And so he's like, obviously the world is flat. Look at the horizon. And you're like,
Water doesn't curve, man. Water doesn't curve.
Right. And you're like, that's awesome. Like
Cool.
you step back to just like, I don't know, angels? Right?
I don't know. Some guy's pushing it. That's what I think.
Have you like tested it at all? No, but it's
Nah.
pretty obvious.
It makes sense to me though.
How could it possibly be round when I'm looking at it and it's flat? And you're like, well, it could be gigantic and you don't notice the curve because of the size.
Nah, that seems stupid.
Right. Oh, sure. That would be convenient. Right? Or it could just be flat.
That works out so nicely for you, Roundy. It's like, all right.
It's brilliant. And everything he posts, I just read and I just soak it in going, it's like watching like Cirque du Soleil of the mind where you're like, you shouldn't be able to do that, but you're balancing all of those things.
What's great is too, he's decided to make his Facebook personality like about flat earth. If he's posting enough that you're noticing,
Oh yeah.
then
no,
that's like his
absolutely.
mission.
Yeah,
Can you
no.
imagine like just doing that about like spherical earth? Like, I mean, it's just, I just,
I'm not a murderer, okay?
if that's what you believe, like, okay, I have a lot of problems with that, but why is that your life? Why is that your social life? I don't understand.
And anytime you say anything that might like contradict it, he goes,
Right.
research it, man. I did. And
Google it, brah.
I'm like, I'm asking you a simple question. Like, what map do we use to actually navigate by if it's a flat earth? And he's like, how about you go look it up? I did. And I'm like, if you already did, could you just give me the answer? Or
Oh man,
Like-
did you see that flat earther guy? There's a flat earther guy. He challenged people to be able to do any point on a map using aerial maps.
Oh, yeah.
You know, start at a point, go somewhere, turn 90 degrees, go somewhere, turn 90 degrees, and go back to the same point.
Okay.
And his theory is if it's flat, you shouldn't be able to do that, right? But
Right.
if it's a sphere, you can. And he's like, you're never going to be able to do it. And like 2 people immediately proved that you could do it. So
All right. So next, which 3 planets radiate more heat than they get from the sun?
okay, I'm gonna go with Jupiter. Yeah, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go Saturn, and I'm gonna go with I don't think that's true because it's so close. I guess I'm gonna go with Uranus. I guess I'm gonna go with that. I'm trying to think. Gas giants, I think they do emit a certain amount of heat, so that's what I'm going with. And Neptune's too far out.
You were so close. It is Neptune. Yes. It is
All right.
Neptune.
I just
Jupiter,
thought-
Saturn, and
I
Neptune.
just thought, okay, yeah.
Oh, you outthought yourself.
Yeah, I did.
All right, Adam.
Plus, I wanted Uranus to be one of the ones giving off heat.
Right, yeah, you did. Ooh, what does that smell? Oh, and it's warm.
So sulfury.
Persian.
Is that a Toyota? I smell a Toyota.
Somebody stole a Toyota recently, I'm pretty sure.
Persian Muslim astronomer Abd al-Rahman al-Sufi in his quote Book of Fixed Stars in 964 described this galaxy known for being the largest one in our local group.
Andromeda?
Got it.
Nice.
You got one.
There we go.
Nail it. Woo! Well done. All right.
You know, I guess you could have tricked me on that and been like, you know, Milky Way because it's the most local, right? So like it's like the biggest one in our
What is the closest star to Earth?
right. Sol.
Yes,
Yeah.
the sun.
Yep.
All right, so last one's a gimme at this point because you've won.
Yes.
Congratulations. I thought this might be the easiest one we would give to you.
Okay.
What is the name of Pluto's largest moon?
Sharon.
It is.
Or Sharon. I don't know how to pronounce it. Sharon. Charon. I don't know really how you pronounce it, but yes.
Yeah, a diameter of 1,172 kilometers or 728 miles. It is just under half the size of Pluto. Due to its very small difference in size, some scientists consider Pluto and Charon to be a double dwarf planet.
That is cool. That part I did not know.
Yeah. Those people
That just
are
sounds
idiots.
offensive.
Double dwarf. Sounds like a type of porn.
Hey, do you guys have Double Dwarf Planet 3?
Yes. All right, excellent. So next we need a category for our next guest. I'm going to get you a prize from our sack of joy. So you entertain the audience while I do that.
Okay, I'm gonna, as my choice, I'm gonna go with, I guess, discontinued snack foods.
Discontinued snack foods.
Discontinued
All right.
snack foods.
Yeah,
snack
I can do
foods
that.
that once existed that no longer exist.
All right.
Was
I
this
got
for good
sack of
reason?
joy. You can just put your hand in my sack.
All right,
Take anything
hand
out of it.
is
Yeah.
deep in the sack.
No,
Here we
it's
go
great.
here.
Super good. Nothing
Here we go.
bites.
All right. Well, guys, this is fantastic, and I'm really glad I got this.
Yeah, what is it?
From Archie McPhee.
Yeah.
The notorious toy makers Archie McPhee, guys,
Yep.
of course. It's Parasite Pals. You've probably caught them all. That is beautiful.
Which one did you get? Does it say?
Oh, I got all 5.
All 5. What are they?
Yeah. Holly Hostess is the human that has contracted these parasite pals.
Okay.
And there's Dig Dig. He's a head louse, of course. There's Tickles the tapeworm. There is Blorky the eyelash mite. You guys know eyelash mites, of course.
Yeah, very
and then
popular.
there's Zzz, the bedbug.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, now see there are 4 here. Oh, one of the parasite pals is Holly Hostess.
Is Holly Host.
Yeah, because she is the Holly Hostess was a lonely little girl when she discovered that her best friends were living on her. Now you too can get parasites and never be lonely again. I'm so
Excellent.
happy about this,
Yeah,
guys. Thank
very-
you.
Congratulations. Good job. Listen next week if you want to find out if our next guest can get one right with discontinued snack foods. That'll be challenging, I think. All right, so let's move on.
Near.
This is near and far.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing so far?
I'm doing great and having a great time.
You've won.
I can't believe this much time has passed. I've been having a great time.
It goes quickly,
It
doesn't
does.
it?
It does.
I hope it does that for the listeners as well. So we never know. They might just be like, oh my God, I have been in traffic for an hour and these people keep talking. I wish my seat would kill me. All right. So near and far, we've got 2 stories from you, one near and one far. We're going to start with far.
Okay, yep.
So you said something about a steak in Detroit.
Yeah, so I'm touring with Sam Cooper and the Sleepwalkers.
Yeah.
We go into the little suburb of Detroit known as Hamtramck. I've now remembered the name of it. Hamtramck. That is where the
For the record, you should have named your
my record Hamtramck.
Yeah, you
It's a great name. It's a great name.
or at least your publication, Hamtramck.
The Hamtramck Picayune, yes.
Yeah.
And so the GM plant that like just recently closed, it was there. So we show up in this little like blue collar town, and there's this bar that's a total hole in the wall. You know, your stage is a piece of plywood with some sticks under it.
Sure, right.
You know,
It's built like that building.
Yeah. You couldn't stomp. You couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
You weren't even allowed to play your instruments. And they had a kitchen. They clearly had a kitchen. You could see it. And you're like, hey, can I get a menu? And they're like, oh, we don't really have a menu. And I said, oh, the kitchen. And he's like, yeah, I mean, sometimes a guy shows up and he cooks food. So if he's here, he might be able to make you something. I was like, all right. Anyway, he does eventually show up. And I go to the bar and I was like, so he's back there. What can I get? And the guy just walks out with a huge, delicious steak and mashed potatoes and just puts it in front of me.
And
he didn't know if I wasn't a vegetarian or a vegan. He was just like, boom, there's your food, man. And it was delicious. Second best steak I've ever had.
That's really good. What do you guys have to eat? This,
eat it. And I was like, I can't. There's like 4 other band members, and and he's like, I'm on it. And so he provided food for us all, like, and free drinks. It was a great little bar. Like, I love little towns and little bars. The people are so super friendly.
He's like a superhero, but with very minimal superpowers.
Yeah. Cooking.
Yeah. Like
at whenever he feels like it.
Yeah.
Really. So
the hours are great.
yeah, sure. He just shows up.
Is it the same guy every time?
I think it's the same guy every
or
time.
just people wandering
Right,
and be like,
yeah.
I'm a chef now. I'm gonna chef things.
You can just the kitchen is open to the public. Anybody can make anything, but they have to make it for the customers.
Here, have some food. Don't strangle on it.
Right. I can't eat this. Allergens. No.
We just lean into it. You just power through.
1 ball of gluten you will consume.
If you eat enough of it, your body forgets.
That's how it works. That's how it works.
That's how I got here.
Now, if you excuse me, I got to go cook about 18 other meals.
Right. I used to be allergic to bees, and then I ate them.
You don't see me complaining.
Right. That's amazing. That like, I want that to happen more.
I know. You get such usually like a bad deal playing at like small bars. They give you like 1 drink ticket.
Yeah.
And you get some watered down whiskey or something. But no, I mean, like a whole steak dinner, like one of the best steak dinners I've ever had, just free right here.
I've thought about it at some point, having a restaurant where you just determine what kind of ingredients you want, and then you send that back to the back. You're like, I like Asian food and steak, and then like they just send something back that's like kind of like that.
That'd be great.
Right?
Just kind of like a Mongolian barbecue.
Yeah. All right, so that's such a great story. Here's your steak. I didn't order a steak. Yeah, you did.
Do I look like I care?
You also have a story about hosting trivia.
Yeah, so you trivia'd me. I used to be a trivia host, one of my many jobs that I used to do. And one time I was guest hosting at a bar that I've never hosted at before. And the thing is, your customers get very bonded to their trivia hosts.
Really?
At my home bar, I was Mike on the mic. People loved me. Hey, Mike on the mic. Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And then, so I go and I guest host like an hour away from where I was. I don't even remember where it was.
Okay.
And so I'm guest hosting, and I am not a sports guy.
No.
So when I have to ask a sports question, I got to take it for granted that these answers are...
You're just reading it.
Right. I'm just like, I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm doing. Nothing like that.
Lombardi. Is that how you say it? Is that the word?
Lombardi. Lombardi. Vince Lombardi. So I got
French
this
footballer
question where it asked, and I'm not even going to remember the entire question, but it basically said like, what 4 schools have never been to the, Fantastic Four, whatever it's called. And so,
not what it's called.
Right. I'm sure it's close though.
Yeah.
And so one of the answers was University of North Carolina.
Okay.
Some people just wrote North Carolina. Yeah. And I said, well, that doesn't really count because it could be North Carolina and
state.
Yeah. It could be North Carolina this. The bar exploded because they're like, that doesn't even make any sense. That college isn't even in the division. Nobody would mean that college, man. You fucking idiot. And I got the classic, you suck, from the back of the room. It was great.
Well, our show has also exploded. We have run out of time. Thank you so much for joining us, Michael.
Thank you.
Did you have a good time?
I had a great time.
Excellent. Once again, the elevators available just about everywhere. 2 L's, don't forget.
Future Shit.
The elevators, Future Shit is the EP. The song's called Gaslit. It was released March 1st. Go to statusbandcamp.com.
Yep.
Get all your junk there. Please like our post, follow us, retweet us, and share the show on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We cannot do this without you. Also, don't forget to review us on Facebook, iTunes, and Google Play. If you're an artist, musician, or culture creator in the DC area, we want you on our show. Email us at booking@anotherwastedhour.com. Thanks to, let's see, Adam and Kevin Envinger and McNally22, Justin Rogers, Big Metal Records, Big Metal Studios, and Alchemical Records for all their contributions. Most of all, thanks to the Elevators for wasting a perfectly good hour with us. This has been another wasted hour, and if you just realized that, don't blame us. We warned you.